everybody, I'm Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I am so happy to have you here today. In today's video, we're going to be using the new Cricut Joy 2 and we're going to be doing some print and cut projects. I'm going to show you two ways to make stickers. One includes using Design Space designs that they have pre-made for you, and then the other, we're going to upload our own images here and create our own stickers. Now we're going to do ones that have offsets and then ones without, where we just leave the bleed on and see how they come out. They're really easy to do, and the Cricut Joy 2 is made to do print and cut in the more traditional way where you have the registration marks. So we're not going to have to hack this one like we do with the regular Joy. Now, if you want to know how to print and cut with the regular Joy back there, I do have a video for that and I will link it down below just in case you don't have the new one. It can be done, it just requires a few steps. We're going to head over to Cricut Design Space and I'm going to show you how to set these up. But before we do, be sure that you're subscribed here on YouTube. Without further ado, let's get started. Here in Cricut Design Space, we're going to make some stickers using the Joy 2 because the print and cut for it is quite a bit different. So I can't wait to show you how to do this. Now, the first thing you need to do is make sure that your Joy 2 is powered on. Just make sure that it's plugged in. And then up here at the top, you want to make sure that your Joy 2 is your machine that is connected. You can see I have a couple options, but I want to make sure that that's my Joy 2. I'm going to go back to the home screen so I can show you this from the home screen. What you're going to do is you can click New Project. And if you choose stickers and labels here, you're going to see that this is going to bring up some information for you. So this is specific to the Joy 2. When you print and cut with your other machines, it will not be like this. But what this is telling you is that this does the auto sticker settings. Images and shapes added to Canvas are automatically transformed into ready to make stickers and labels. Edit your design and adjust the sticker settings anytime. Then it tells you how it works. So design and print a full sheet of stickers or labels. Then trim the sheet in half before cutting each half with your machine. Now, it is still going to waste materials compared to the larger machines, but you're at least able to use both sides of the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and click Start Designing. What I want to point out to you is it's going to open up this images section here, and you can definitely use images from Cricut Design Space, but we don't want to do that. But unlike the other stickers and labels options, you're going to notice here that we do not have any templates. Now, this is being filmed in February of 2026, and I imagine that eventually they're going to give us some templates like we have on the larger sticker sheets, but for now, we don't have that. So we can use images from Cricut Design Space, or we can upload our own. So if we go to images, you can go to Advanced Search, and then let's say I only want to use some images that are made specifically for print and cut. Over here in filters, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll find the operation type and you can choose print and cut. And it's going to bring you up all the images that they would consider just for print and cut. So you can see we have some letters here that are different patterns. We've got some like markers and pencils and all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to pick out a few designs here and show you how to set these up on your sheet so that they cut correctly. I've picked out these cute little bow designs. I just thought they were precious and perfect for like springtime. So I'm going to kind of set these out just so you can see I've got 5 different bows here. Now I am going to open up my layers panel, which if you don't have a layers panel showing, over here on the right side, you'll see that there's this like 3-layered square. Click on that. Now it is giving me an error because these are too large right now. Don't worry, we'll size them down. But what I want to point out to you is if you go to your edit option and you choose this stickers option, you're going to see that it has automatically added a border for you. These have a border already on them. So you can see here that we already have a little offset for these stickers. So I don't necessarily want an additional border on them. So I am going to turn this all off completely because I just don't want that extra space. I like a thinner offset. Now, when we go to make our own custom stickers, I'll show you kind of how to adjust that. Now, I'm going to get rid of this edit panel and I want to select all of these. I'm going to go ahead and align them and center them so I can resize them all at the same time. I don't usually like to go a whole lot bigger than like a 2-inch sticker. So I'm going to do a full just like 2 inches, I think. We'll just make it a little over 2 inches is fine. If you want it exact, come up to the top and you can just change that to 2 inches. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and again spread these out so you can see the stickers here. Now, if I click make it right now, watch what happens. First, it's gonna ask me to save. We're not gonna save it, it'll be fine. You're gonna see here that you are showing one mat here with 4 of them, and then another mat here with another sticker. I'm gonna add some more because they're a little bit like, you could totally fit more. Plus, I think I could fit all 5 onto one sheet. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take each of my stickers, and I actually wanna change the background on color here so I can see the offset a little better. So I'm gonna open up my layers panel and change this background color just to gray, because I wanna make sure that these are not overlapping in any way, but I can get them really close together because I don't need to use bleed on them. And these are gonna be, I'm gonna do a die cut sticker on them. So at least I'm gonna try to. And I'm just gonna get them really close together because again, I do think that I can fit all 5 onto one sheet by getting them super duper close. Now I know that they are leaning, don't worry about that. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna select them, I'm gonna align them, and I'm just gonna center them horizontally. And then I'm just gonna adjust if it's got a little bit of overlap anywhere, because I do see a couple little spots where it might overlap. So I'm just gonna adjust these down a little bit. And you may have to play with this a little bit just to get it exactly where you want it to be. But I think that looks pretty good. You can zoom in if you think you've got spots where we might have some overlap. Like right here is 100% overlapping, so I'm just gonna move it down a little. And then you can just check and make sure nobody else is, and I think we're good. So I'll zoom back out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these and I'm going to attach them. That's going to tell Design Space that I don't want it to move any of my designs. I want them to keep them all in place. Now, if I hit the make option, let's take a look here. See, I could fit all of them on one page. So just keep in mind that when you're working with Design Space, it's not always going to give you the most efficient way to lay these out. I could actually make them a little bit bigger if I want to, so I think I will. I think I'll just expand them a little bit. And I'm going to kind of expand them until it tells me it's too big, just so that we can really fill up that page and not waste our materials. Now it says it's too big, so I'm going to just size it down a touch until it lets me make them the size, the biggest size possible. I could use auto resize, but I do find that that doesn't work as well. Now, I want to show you this for 2 sheets on one page. So I am going to duplicate this so that we have 2 versions of this. And now I will save this. And we're going to save this as bow stickers and go ahead and click save. One thing that's different about this stickers and labels version is you'll notice that we don't have like a template. If you watched my stickers and labels video that I created where I show you how to do it with the bigger machines, they give you a printed template and we don't have one here. I imagine eventually they'll add one, or I'll try to find some time and make one for you. But here we are ready to go. Now what we need to do is click the make button. And you're going to see, again, it's going to give you 2 mats. Now, obviously, our mats are exactly the same because we're using the same designs. But if you want to put more than, 5 of the same bows, maybe you want to do 10 bows and they're different colors, it'll work. But because I just had 5 and they fit fine, I wanted to do it this way. So once we've got it set up here, what you're going to do is click continue. Now you're going to think, oh my gosh, it's going to print out 2 pages because you've got 2 mats. But when you click send to printer, you'll see here that it's going to show you what your page should look like. You're going to have sensor marks around both of your designs. And then you're going to have a little line that it's going to print in the center. And that's going to be where you're going to cut these in half. Now, again, this is very much a material waster because look at all this space in the middle and all the space around it. It's just a lot of space that could have been used far better if you're using a bigger machine, but if you have the Joy 2, this is about your options. So I'm going to click next. And then again, it shows you kind of what it's going to look like printed. Now from here, what you want to do is make sure you have the correct printer selected. Now I'm going to turn the bleed off since the edges of our stickers are white, so it doesn't matter. I could leave it on. Bleed pushes out color from the edge of your stickers. So if you didn't have that white offset, you could use that bleed to make sure that everything is going to show perfectly fine. You're not going to have any like white around the edges. But with this, you do want to use your system dialog. Now from here, what I do is I click print and it's going to bring up my printer settings so that I'm able to adjust some things. So again, you want to make sure you have your right printer selected and then you go to preferences. Now under preferences, I always double check document size, which is an 8.5 by 11. And then I check the orientation that it's portrait. Now for this, I do tend to find that the presentation paper mat or even premium presentation paper mat works best. We're going to be using Cricut sticker paper for this just because that's what this is going to work best with for the cut setting. Then I'm going to change my quality from standard to high, and I want to make sure I select color. My printer's defaulted to black grayscale because I do print a lot of other stuff. Then I want to go to one more option, which is this right here in the center, and I want to turn off the high-speed print. That's literally all I have to do, and then I click print to send this to my printer. Once we print it, I'll show you how to set up your cut setting. Once your print's done, it's going to show you the screen that just sort of gives you a preview of what your page should look like. Mine looks exactly like this, so then we're going to hit done. Now, with using the stickers and labels function, I want you to note that I can use the medium cardstock setting. I can use all of these settings, but it won't let me use heavy cardstock, which is usually my go-to if I want a full die cut sticker. So I am going to do the medium cardstock setting on this. Now, you'll notice that this is set to kiss cut pressure, but I really would rather it be a full die cut. But if it doesn't do that, it's fine. I'm not really concerned about it necessarily. Now, it does tell you make sure you have your fine point blade loaded into the clamp. We're going to load the mats onto the machine and click start. Now, we're going to cut these apart. I'll show you that. I'll show you how to load them onto your mat and get them cut out with our new Joy 2. Use these cute Easter geese. So what you'll do is you can click download, and I'll link these below if you want to use them. I think they're so cute. I'm going to put these into my folder for this project. So I'm going to put this into that folder and click save. Now, in order to access these, we are going to need to unzip them. So open up your folder and choose extract all, and then just click extract. Now for this, you can see all your designs previewed, and you can choose whichever ones you want to make. So let's head to Cricut Design Space and we can get making. Here in Cricut Design Space for this version, what you're going to do is click New Project. And I'm going to show you this without using the stickers and labels option so that you know how to do this on your own, because it is actually super easy. Choose blank canvas and you're going to click Start Designing. Over here in blank canvas, go ahead and close the Images tab, and you want to click Upload, and then you want to choose Upload Image. Now you can drag and drop your files, so it makes it easy to know which goose you want to choose. I'm going to pick a couple of these little cuties just to make a couple different stickers so that you can see how to do this. So what you'll do is you drag and drop it, and then all you need to do is click continue. You don't have to do anything here because this image is already made to have like a transparent background. So you just click apply and continue, and you want to save this as a flat graphic because this is going to make it so that you can use it for print then cut. Go ahead and click continue, and here's where you can kind of change names on it, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to do any of that, and then click upload. It's going to put it right into your Cricut Design Space canvas. Now I'm going to upload a few more of these, and then I'll show you how to set these up so that they cut perfectly. Now that I have all my images in my design space, I want to point out to you the red exclamation point again. Just means my designs are too big. So again, I'm going to go ahead and select all. I like to align them and center them, and then I like to just size them kind of all at the same time. Now, because these are different shapes, they're obviously not going to be exactly the same size, but I just want to size them down so that they'll actually fit onto our paper. So we'll get those kind of sized. Now, we've got these cute little geese in little Eastery style outfits. Now I have 6 of them selected. Before I do any real lining up and sizing anything, what I like to do is just see what Design Space will do with these. So if I click make right now, it's going to take it over to the screen, and it'll show us that they think that we have to have 3 mats for these. Now I do think I can fit them a little bit better if I wanted to. I can definitely nest them. They're also a little bit large. I think the stickers are about 2 inches tall, which are 2 inches wide, not tall, which is pretty good, but I do like to make them a little bit shorter. So because my height is 3.5, I'm going to actually bring this down to 2.5 for the height. I just think 3.5 is a little bit big for what I like to do with stickers. But again, you do what works for you, and maybe not 52. That might be a little bit much. So I'm just going to change all these down to 2.5. And that way, like I said, it's just a better size in my opinion, but you make your stickers whatever darn size you want. But also, I think we're going to be able to fit quite a few of these, so I might be able to add some more designs. So now that I've sized them down, let's hit make and see what Design Space does with these. Now, you'll notice that it keeps them in a line, but look, it put one sideways so that it would fit, which I think is really nice. But keeping in mind that I could absolutely nest them like this and fit more of them, so we may just make quite a few little designs for this. So let me go ahead and hit cancel. And I'm going to go ahead and play around with this, lining these up a little bit and see if we can really fit more on here. So let me add a few more designs. That way we just have a bunch to work with. All right, I've got these guys all loaded. I loaded about 4 more designs just to give us a little bit more to work with. Now, again, if I hit the make button right now, I like to just sort of see what it looks like so I can get an idea of how Design Space thinks that this should be set up. So you'll see here that we've got 3 sheets, but I 100% could fit them all on just the 2 sheets that we have. So I'm going to click cancel. And what I'm going to do is work on kind of lining these up. Now that I've got all my designs, I want to try to get them kind of lined up so that I can figure out how I can get them to fit onto our mat and our page. So we only have to print 1 page of stickers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of take them and I'm going to stagger them a bit and then I'll attach them. So I think what I can do is fit probably, I would say maybe 4, maybe 3 wide. Well, let's see. Let's play with this. Because again, we are going to not be using bleed on this because I don't really think I need it. But we're going to kind of play with this. So if you're kind of struggling over here, let me show you a little trick. Because like this is a little hard when you don't have a template to get everything lined up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the make button and I'm going to look at what my mats look like. So you can see here, I'm actually fitting quite a few on one mat, but then I've got this little one that I could definitely move. Now, because I'm actually going to be printing this from another computer, I can't just simply move it over here because it won't line up perfectly the next time, but you can see it fits right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these lined up on my screen so they're like in this order. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit cancel really quick. And I did take a picture on my phone so I could see what they all looked like and what was lined up where. So I'm going to start with this Goosey, and then I'm going to put this little one here. And I'm going to line him up under her. And again, I'm not going to use bleed, so I can put them pretty close together. Then under him was this little one with the carrot. And then under them was the one with the flowers, and she was flipped on her side. So she was like this. And I'll get her really close in. Okay. And then they had one more little guy on this. I think, right? They did, yes. They had this one with the little like goose face, and she was right here. Now I just need to fit in this one, which I can fit in right here. And then I'm going to select these guys and I'm going to flatten them all together. That's just going to hold them in place. Now, again, I can kind of look at this and get everything lined up. So now that I know that these all fit within, I can absolutely get these guys to all fit together as well. Now, this one's really big and kind of wide, so I think she might need to go sideways just because she is kind of big and wide. And then maybe this one, if I put her sideways as well, we might just have a little bit better fit of everybody onto our sheet. So I'm just going to kind of get everybody fit in. And honestly, I think if I squeeze these guys a little bit, I'd be able to fit one more, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and select them and flatten them. Now, the reason I'm doing this is to waste less material. You saw that Cricut Design Space wasted a ton of material when it did it with the sticker option, and I had to rearrange them anyways. And then you saw how much it wasted when I didn't arrange them myself. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, if we want to add anything like an offset to this, we can do it. It's not really something I think I want to do for these stickers, but I'll show you really quick. If you want to add an offset, just go to click and the edit button right here and go to offset. I don't recommend using the sticker button. I recommend using offset since we're doing these by ourselves. Then you want to make it really small so that they're not like touching. You probably should have done it before you lined them up because you do have a couple that touch. But that's really all you'd have to do. If you do want to do it, you can just unflatten them and then you can just add your offset like this by doing them individually. Again, you're going to need to use pretty small offsets for this and you may need to rearrange some things. I'm going to apply that, and then there's a hole in this, so I want to get rid of it. I'm going to click contour. I'm just going to hide that contour and click apply. I'm going to change the offset to white, and then I'm going to select the chicken and the offset and click flatten. Now, again, I can do that for all of these. So let's just go ahead and add offsets to all the little ones that are right here. That way you can get an idea of what that's going to look like. So we'll do one page with and one page without. Go ahead and flatten. Now I am going to need to move these around a little bit because they're going to overlap a little too much. So I will move them around in just a second, but I'm going to go ahead and add this offset and flatten them all really quickly. This is actually a super easy task. It's just a matter of like clicking apply. Then you want to go ahead, change the offset to white if you don't want it to print any color, select both items and flatten. Now, I can't see if they're overlapping because my offset's black or white. So change your background color, and I'm going to use black so you can really, really see this and see they are all overlapping a little bit. All you need to do is just adjust them a little and kind of scooch them around so that they don't overlap. Just going to move her a little bit more. All right, now nobody overlaps. Go ahead and you can use attach or flatten. Let's attach half and flatten the other half just so you can see that it doesn't make a difference to the way that this is going to cut or work. Once I've got this done, I'm going to hit make. I'm going to take a look and make sure everything looks like it's lined up really well. Everything looks good on that page. Everything looks fine on this page. Now again, like I could 100% have fit more on that page, but we're just going with it. Now what I'm going to do, I want to just make sure I save this really quick. So I'm going to save this as Goose Stickers, and we'll call it Joy 2, just so I know what I'm using it for, and click Save. I always make sure I save it before I actually go and make anything, especially with stickers that you've lined up yourself. It's just best to make sure everything stays in place. Now what I'm going to do is click the Make option, and I'm going to have this show you the mats. So just like when we did it with their stickers and labels function, it shows you 2 mats, but you're only going to cut or print 1 piece of paper. I'm going to click Continue, and I'm going to click Send to Printer. This is where it shows you what it's going to look like. So again, you've got the different sticker sets on either one. I'm going to click Next. Again, big material waster if you're going to do this, because like literally look at how much space I have right here. The middle could have been printed on, but whatever, it's totally fine. Make sure your correct printer is selected. I am going to leave the bleed on here so that you can see what that looks like on these stickers. And then I'm going to choose Use System Dialog again so that we can print these with those print settings. We're going to use the same print settings. We're not changing anything here. So I'm going to choose Preferences, make sure all of the letter is chosen. The orientation is Portrait, Premium Presentation Paper Matte, Standard to High. Turn on that color. Click More Options, turn off High Speed Print, click OK, and click Print to send it to the printer. Now I want you to see that by not using the stickers and labels option, I can now choose heavy cardstock, but I also have access to all of my materials. Those are just the 2 that I currently have bookmarked. But if there's a material that you're using that's maybe a little thicker, a little lighter, whatever it may be, you may want to consider not using the stickers and labels option so that you have more options of your cut settings. Just personal choice for me, but honestly, do what works best for you. I do think both are fine options. The first thing that we need to do is to cut our sticker sheets in half, but I do want to show you something that I think is really interesting and is super helpful. So if you look at this top corner here where normally there's an arrow, you'll see one sheet says 1 and the other sheet says 2. That's so that you know which sheet to load in first. Now with this one, it shouldn't matter. They're exactly the same, but you can see we have 1 and 2. So that's super helpful, but they do have like a dotted line for you to cut on. Let's talk about how I have never in my life been able to cut a fairly straight line. But what's great about this is it honestly does not matter if it's perfectly straight or not, because I have cut these really terribly. As long as the registration marks are there, you're good to go. So just don't cut them like too crazy. But I'm just going to try to cut as neatly as I can. But again, straight lines are not my thing. Now we are going to start with the bow stickers, since these were the ones that came from Design Space, and I am cutting these with the sticker, white sticker, printable sticker, I think is what it's called. The white printable sticker with the gray, with the green lining. I'm not sure. Either way, it's white sticker paper. That's the cut that I'm using. So we're going to load these on to our mat, and I'm going to be using the blue mat. This is one that came with it. One little trick that I don't know that a lot of people see, before you take your mat off of your plastic off your mat, put like a sticker or a piece of vinyl on it, because these do have right and wrong ways to stick to your, like the plastic to stick to your mat. Now what you're going to do is you're going to load this on to your mat just like you do with your big machines. You want to line it up to that upper left corner, and then I just try to get it as straight as I can. That was really not straight, but it should be fine. We'll see how it does with not super straight. We're ready to load the machine. You'll notice the light is flashing to let us know it's ready, and this will load automatically. You want to make sure you get your mat under the little guides that are right here, and you want to make sure that the 1 or the 2 is up in the upper left here. Go ahead and load your machine. It'll pull it automatically. It will read all those registration marks, and then it's going to cut around each of the stickers. Here's the thing with the Joy that is not great. If for some reason this didn't cut through correctly, we can't recut it. So checking the cut really doesn't make any difference whatsoever. You can see here that it did not cut all the way through like it was supposed to. It's fine, not the end of the world, but as long as it cut the sticker, I think we'll be okay here. It cut the sticker fine, so we're gonna go ahead and unload and we'll load the next mat in. Before we load the second mat, I just want to show you that it did, in fact, cut through in some places and not in others. So that was not what it was supposed to do. That's supposed to be a kiss cut. And a kiss cut is when the sticker remains on the backing and there's no cut through to the back. So what I've done for the second set is I'm going to change the pressure. I just turned the pressure down so that it's less pressure. And we'll see how it does with less pressure. I make no promises that this is going to work, but this is one of those caveats with working with the Joy that isn't necessarily my favorite. If I was working with one of the other machines, I'd have been able to reload this mat and have it cut multiple times around it just to make die cut stickers instead of kiss cut. So now it's going to read our second labels, our second designs here, and cut out that second sheet. Now again, once this is done, we can check the cut, but it won't matter. We won't be able to reload it if it cut through again. Doesn't look like, oh, it still did. I put less pressure and I think it actually cut through worse. We're gonna go ahead and unload this and then we'll cut our other stickers on a different setting. Now for our cute little goose, we're gonna do the number 1 first. And these ones I've set to the heavy cardstock setting. So we'll see if these ones will cut through. If not, we can do a different cut on the second sheet. But I think that the heavy cardstock setting should work just fine. So we cut this with that heavy cardstock setting, so we'll see how this one cut through. I also meant to show you the bleed, and I didn't, so I'll show you that on the next one. Oh, these ones look like they cut beautifully, so that's perfect. Let's go ahead and unload these. Keeping in mind that unload is on your computer. Now, I don't care if I wrinkle or curl the back of this, but look at that. Those cut so good. Like, those are absolutely perfectly cut. Let me get these unloaded off the mat and switch the mat. I also want to show you the bleed and what that means. So you see how there's all this black around the outlines of our designs? That is the bleed. So that means that when we printed these, it just pushes that color out a little bit from the edge of your design so that you don't have any white or anything showing from the outside. So I'm going to unload this, switch out our mat, and cut the second set. Now remember with this set, this was the set we added the white offset to. So again, I don't care if the backing gets all wrinkly, but I want to pull it off so you can see them really well against the mat. Look at that. They cut really, really well. Now granted, I did calibrate this machine when I set it up, but this is only like the 3rd or 4th cut I've actually done on the machine. And while not 100% perfect, like I can see that this especially is a teeny bit thinner than this side. It's still pretty darn good compared to some of the other times I've cut with the Cricut. So I would say not perfect, but still pretty good. Let me get these off the mat. I'm going to show you all the stickers up close. This first set of stickers, I'm just not thrilled with the cut, especially since I used a Cricut cut setting with Cricut material. It should have cut the way that it said, which was a kiss cut I had it set to. And I cut these with both the regular pressure and the less pressure after it cut through the backing. But you can see it cut through the backing on both sheets. So I was very, very disappointed in that. If I was actually going to try to make a kiss cut sticker and it cut like this and I was going to sell these, you've just wasted a bunch of material. And the fact that you can't recut them definitely makes it a bit of an issue, because I could have just turned these into die cut stickers, with some of the other materials or machines that I can recut. But it did a really good job on these stickers here that I just made my own and used bleed and offsets. Now, if you have any questions, please let me know in those comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Be sure that you're subscribed here on YouTube. That way you don't miss out on any of the fun, crafty content we have coming. I'll link everything that I used in this video down below in the description so that you can make your own fun stickers using the Cricut Joy 2. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting!